Hey guys, and welcome to my next notes on rock cycle. All right, so today we're going to talk about how rocks basically change from one type to the other. Now, cycles, usually think of something like what you're seeing on the right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And it basically returns exactly back to its original state. We're going to see something a little bit different with rocks because rocks can change to any type of rock. So it's not going to be a straightforward 1, 2, 3, 4 cycle. You're going to see arrows going everywhere. All right, so let's talk about how these rocks change and what happens in between. All right, so rock cycle is a model that shows how all three rock types are interrelated and the processes that produce each, all right? Because that's the important part of knowing about rocks, is how they form. Because where they form, how they form is going to determine a lot about the rocks themselves. So again, I said that it's not a straightforward cycle. You can see from the picture there, it's very complicated. Any rock can be changed into any rock type. So in other words, there's no preferred direction of change also. Okay, so igneous can change to sedimentary, sedimentary to igneous. It just depends on what the rocks are being exposed to. All right, and that's going to determine what type of rock you end up with. So a rock can contain evidence of multiple changes also. All right, so an example, sedimentary rock may contain fragments of both metamorphic rock that was transformed from an igneous rock. So you could have multiple origins as a result. Okay, so granite changing into gneiss. So again, that's a igneous changing into a metamorphic. Okay, as an example. So distribution of rocks throughout the Earth's surface. Most of the surface is composed of sedimentary rocks. And that would make sense, because sediments are going to break down and then collect in a thin layer on top of the Earth's surface. Okay, and make your sedimentary rock layers. Okay, the Earth's interior, though, on the other hand, which we're going to talk more about in the future chapter, the mantle, outer core, inner core, get towards the center, that is basically solid rock made out of both igneous and metamorphic rock. All right, because again, the temperature increases as you get towards the center of the Earth. So therefore, obviously, that material is going to be molten rock in some places. So igneous and metamorphic rocks are also found at the surface near volcanoes and mountain ranges. I already mentioned that obviously lava and magma form igneous rocks. Metamorphic rocks is where you're going to have deforming of the rock layers, either due to, again, crustal plate movements or magma that's touching it and partially melting the material. So again, that's where you find these things. All right, and this kind of brings everything all together in one place. So again, sedimentary rocks most of the time are going to collect in water areas, okay, because that sediment's going to go downhill in rivers and end up in the ocean or a lake. So the bottom of that is going to be sedimentary rocks usually. Again, extrusive igneous rocks come out of volcanoes. Intrusive igneous rocks or directly from magma crystallizing. And then metamorphic rocks, remember, can be near magma, so that partially melted rock that's right next to it, and then also wherever crustal movements are happening. So just a couple in all the places where these different rocks form. All right, there is a brain pop, but I can't show it to you right now, but there is a way we can log in through our Google accounts, so you can use that through the school. All right, and the reference table, so this is where you guys have to use this on the regions. Okay, so the way it works, the arrows represent the processes. The squares obviously are the rock types, sedimentary, metamorphic, igneous. Okay, so the squares are the rock types, and then the circles or ovals are in between steps, because remember that igneous rocks have to be magma or lava first. Sedimentary rocks have to be sediments first. Okay, so let's go through some examples. So if I have a sedimentary rock, and I want to change it into an igneous rock. What has to happen, obviously, first you're going to melt it, so that you're going to follow the arrow that goes melting to magma, and then magma solidifies and becomes igneous rock. Okay, so you got to look at the arrows going between. You can actually start from the ending rock and then go backwards and figure out how you got there. So melting to magma, solidification, igneous rock. Okay, if you want to go from an igneous rock to a sedimentary, obviously the rocks can undergo weathering and erosion. It also could be uplifted. Uplifted means to expose it due to crustal movements. Okay, and then obviously sediments are the result of weathering and erosion. Then deposition, burial, compaction, cementation, which you guys remember from formation of sedimentary rocks. That's what we talked about. So those 4 processes lead to your sedimentary rock. All right, to get from sedimentary rock to metamorphic rock, again, heat and or pressure, metamorphism. Those are the processes to lead to metamorphic rock. Okay, if you want to have a metamorphic rock go back to a metamorphic rock, look at this. There is an arrow that does that. So again, you can see the arrow goes back through these processes and then becomes a metamorphic rock again. So any rock can become any rock type. There is no preferred order. That's why there's arrows going all over the place. Sedimentary rocks can break down and become sediments again and then go back to sedimentary rocks. So there is, again, no order, no preferred order of change. You just have to follow the arrows. So some people, like I said, like to start at the ending rock and then go backwards to figure it out. So if I have an a metamorphic rock that changed to an igneous rock, okay, you can go to the igneous rock and then trace backwards and get your processes. Okay, so that's one way to do business with that. So it's up to you how you want to handle that, but just make sure you know how to read it, make sure you know how to do it, and we'll do practice with this, obviously, in the coming days. All right. So that's it, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.